Vados appears in the nick of time to try to save her master, but will she be successful or will she risk it all and fail?
Prepare yourself, Dan Saiyan.
Smash that like button, and if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way you never miss a video. Alright guys, don't be mad at me. I swear I wanted to get this out way sooner than what I got it out at. I promised this fan manga for this weekend. I was hyping it up and everything. You guys were extremely excited, but the Dragon Ball Super manga came out, and then, you know, Dragon Ball Multiverse had its climactic chapter that it was so interesting. I had to jump on those first, but we are finally here to the Dragon Ball fan manga that I promised you. Dragon Ball Endtime is finally here, and I'm excited to jump into this because this focuses on a story on the angels and the Gods of Destruction. Now, there have been other fan mangas that have done this before. I think one of the most famous ones is Dragon Ball Kakume, but recently there has also been the Murno manga that I actually do have, and as I told you guys before, people have been asking me to cover this, but this has been covered extensively recently, so I'm gonna wait till it's not so saturated and then give you guys my review of that Dragon Ball fan manga. But today I have a fan manga that not many people have seen, and I don't think anybody is covering, and that is Dragon Ball Endtime. Now, you guys probably already noticed the huge difference between this Dragon Ball fan manga and any other Dragon Ball fan manga that you guys have ever seen. Can you guys guess it? Can you guess it? Okay, I'll give you a minute. That's right, loyal viewer. It is completely made from Xenoverse 2 using Xenoverse 2 mods. That's right, the author went in and basically coordinated these scenes in Xenoverse to make a fan manga. Now, whether he did it in-game or he did it almost similar to how Devil Artemis makes his animations is up to debate. I mean, some of these shots are just so delicately crafted that I don't see this being a match that you kind of coordinate yourself on the video game. I see this more as you took the video game models and you made them move and react in the way that you wanted to, and then obviously took snapshots and put bubbles for them to be talking, and it actually comes out really well, and there is a lot of chapters to this, so I definitely want to dive into this for the next couple of days and get through the story, because this story is really interesting and it really shows us the limits of the angels and exactly what a crisis would be for them and how they would react to such a crisis. It's interesting stuff. So let's go ahead and jump right in. The beginning of this story starts all the way at the beginning of Dragon Ball, and as we see here, we have Bardock shooting his final blast at Frieza right before Frieza destroys Planet Vegeta, and the team that has worked on this Dragon Ball fan manga took a lot of care in trying to make this story as canon-centric as possible, because they have the model for Bardock as his Dragon Ball minus form. He's got the armor from Dragon Ball minus. This is not the original Bardock that we saw all those years ago. So after this, we go through all the different sagas, stories, and arcs of Dragon Ball Z. Now, it is interesting to note that we actually go basically through the story of Dragon Ball Z, but the story of Dragon Ball Z is the story of Goku. So we have the entirety of the story of Goku through Dragon Ball Z, even in Dragon Ball Super, all the way to Goku becomes Ultra Instinct. Now, there is no Moro in the beginning of this story. There is no Moro recap. So this is taking place, obviously we don't know anything about the Moro arc, or the team doesn't know, so they just omitted it. They don't have it in there, but they do have the end of Dragon Ball Super that connects to Dragon Ball Z with Goku about to train Oob. Now, the interesting part, as I said, is that this story focuses on Goku, but the manga itself, I already read 2 chapters to try to get like my feet wet and see exactly what it is. The manga focuses on the angels, so Goku's role in this is obviously going to be important with the angels, which makes sense. He is the main character of Dragon Ball Z, and I have no problem with that. If Goku's in there and we're getting some focus, some backstory, a lot of attention given to the angels, to me that's a win. I like the angels because they're so ambiguous, and I love stories that focus on them. Goku has a lot of stories focused on him, but if he's in this one and it moves the entire angel plot forward, that's completely fine with me. And somewhere in Universe 6, we find Champa facing off against an unknown entity, and the age is 785. So Champa is just surprised that somebody would attack a God of Destruction. And remember, Champa's not like the strongest God of Destruction either. He's like really out of shape. He doesn't trains less than Beerus, and Beerus is pretty strong, as we've seen in the manga and in the anime. So Champa is just kind of like the lesser talented brother, I'm assuming. And so he's having a difficult time against whoever this being is. And the fact that he's on his own, the fact that he's by himself, it sheds some light on the fact that the gods of destruction aren't completely just tied to the angels. Like, I would imagine they separate to do other things. In Dragon Ball Super, we saw Whis, and he was on planet Earth hanging out with Bulma, while Beerus was still on planet Beerus. So they're not attached to each other at the hip. They can actually move around and do their own thing, and this being seems to have caught Champa off guard before he met up with Vados. Champa tries his signature move, and when he throws it, nothing happens. It just disperses. It doesn't do any damage. It doesn't hurt the being at all. And Champa is getting frustrated. He's like, what in the multiverse is this thing? Because he's never seen anything like it before. And this is really interesting. Champa goes, you understand that killing me will attract the wrong kind of attention. And it's like, he knows that he can be killed. I know it's a fan manga, but up to this point, we've only seen the gods of destruction be killed by killing their supreme Kais, which this creature could have done. But this creature's so powerful that he can just destroy the god of destruction without killing the Kai, which I would assume if the god of destruction dies, then the Kai dies as well. But he said it's going to bring the wrong kind of attention, so he's essentially pleading for his life right now, and he is threatening this guy that other gods of destruction are going to come, the angels are going to come, the Omni King, the Grand Priest, they're all going to be upset, obviously, because the god of destruction was killed. A being that kills the god of destruction, that has that much power and has no care or gives 0 fucks for the rank of god of destruction, is a being that everyone is going to target. And this being begins to charge up what I can only assume is the attack that he's been hitting Champa with, because he is damaged. So this is the end for Champa, and that's when Vados comes in to save Champa, and she urges him to flee, and Champa is almost indignant in this. He's surprised that she's asking him to run. I guess he doesn't care if he dies there, because running would be worse, because running would show that god of destruction is weaker than getting destroyed, I guess. So it would be a tremendous embarrassment for Champa, but Vados doesn't have time for this. She's gonna save Champa and throws him through what I'm assuming is a wormhole, or she teleports him away and he completely vanishes. Once Champa's gone, she apologizes, but this creature, he didn't change his target. He's still about to shoot whatever beam, whatever attack he was going to hit Champa with, he's just going to hit Vados with it. And Vados says, so it's finally here. And the last line we get before the beam hits her is the end time. And this chapter is called Death in the Family, so I can only assume that this has to be the end of Vados. She ends up dying in this chapter, and this is going to bring, I think, way more attention than just killing the god of destruction. This is an angel, so if the angels can't stop this creature, this being, then who the hell is going to stop him? The Omni King? The Grand Priest? We don't know. So RIP Vados, guys. RIP Vados in the chat. Go ahead and put it down, because she's gone. And that is the end of this chapter. Again, I like this fan manga. Let me know if you guys like it too. Let me know what you guys think of it being from Xenoverse 2. I know it's unconventional, but I like to bring you guys unconventional manga from time to time. So let me know what you guys think of this. And tomorrow I will have chapter 2, 6 p.m. US Eastern time. Make sure you're here. And if you made it to this point in the video, you are now part of the hashtag End of Video Squad. Thank you guys so much for all your support. Make sure to drop that comment with that hashtag for a chance to be featured in my next video. Today, I'm going to respond to Broku Anims. If Cell was supposed to look like that, his perfect form would a little bit different. I'm assuming you meant would be a little bit different. Yes, I think that the direction that Akira Toriyama was going, the form may have looked slightly more different. Maybe he'd have his tail out the whole time. Maybe the color scheme would be like not so light green. Maybe he'd just be bigger and bulkier and stronger looking. I don't know, but I do think that Akira Toriyama was going for a different direction. But once he made his original form be more animalistic, I think he decided for the ending form to be far more humanoid, and that is perfectly fine with me because I like the way that Cell's trajectory and evolution goes, except for Semi-Perfect Cell. That's the only one I don't like. Thank you so much for your comment. This is going to be BlackScape signing off. Take care, guys.
Subscribe for more content. Or perish.